Have you ever wondered what happens when an entire country seems to exist outside the normal flow of global tourism? Every year, millions of travelers visit destinations like Thailand, Japan, Italy, and France. Their landmarks fill social media feeds, travel documentaries, and bucket lists around the world. Yet there are countries that remain almost invisible to the average traveler. Places that receive fewer visitors in an entire year than some famous attractions receive in a single day. Turkmenistan is one of those countries. Located in Central Asia between the Caspian Sea and Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan occupies a strategic position that once connected major trade routes. Despite this, it remains one of the least visited countries on Earth. For many people, the country is little more than a name on a map. Even experienced travelers often know surprisingly little about it. That lack of familiarity creates an obvious question. Why does almost nobody visit Turkmenistan? The answer is more complicated than many people expect. It involves geography, history, tourism policies, perception, and a level of isolation that few countries maintain in the modern world. What makes Turkmenistan particularly fascinating is that it is not lacking in attractions. In many ways, it possesses the ingredients that usually attract adventurous travelers. The country contains vast deserts, ancient Silk Road cities, unusual architecture, and one of the world's strangest tourist attractions. Yet international tourism remains remarkably limited. One of the biggest reasons is simply access. For many travelers, visiting Turkmenistan is significantly more difficult than visiting neighboring countries. The visa process has traditionally been more restrictive than what most tourists are accustomed to. In much of the world, travelers can book a flight and arrive with minimal planning. Turkmenistan has often required considerably more preparation. The additional effort discourages casual tourism. Many travelers choose destinations that are easier to visit. This alone reduces visitor numbers dramatically. Even people who are curious about the country may decide to postpone the trip indefinitely. Perception also plays an important role. When people think about travel destinations, they usually think of places they have seen repeatedly in media and online content. Familiarity creates interest. Turkmenistan rarely receives that exposure. It is not commonly featured in travel advertisements or tourism campaigns aimed at global audiences. As a result, many travelers never seriously consider it. They simply know very little about what the country offers. This creates a cycle that reinforces itself. Fewer visitors lead to less coverage, which leads to fewer visitors. Yet those who do visit often discover something unexpected. One of the first surprises is the capital city of Ashgabat. The city looks unlike almost any other capital in the world. Wide boulevards stretch through districts filled with gleaming white marble buildings. The architecture creates an appearance that many travelers describe as surreal. Large monuments, fountains, and grand public spaces dominate the cityscape. The scale often feels disproportionate to the number of people visible on the streets. Photographs of Ashgabat frequently leave viewers wondering whether the images are real. The city has an atmosphere that many visitors struggle to compare with anywhere else. Its unusual appearance has become one of Turkmenistan's defining characteristics. For some travelers, the city alone justifies the journey. Outside the capital lies another reason the country attracts attention. Deep within the Karakum Desert sits the Darvaza Gas Crater. It is often called the door to hell. The crater has been burning continuously for decades. Flames illuminate the desert landscape both day and night. The sight is extraordinary. A massive fiery crater glowing in the middle of a remote desert feels more like a scene from science fiction than a tourist attraction. Photographs rarely capture its true scale. Visitors often describe the experience as one of the most unusual things they have ever witnessed. Few countries possess a landmark quite like it. Yet even attractions like the Darvaza Gas Crater have not transformed Turkmenistan into a major tourist destination. Part of the reason is geography. Much of the country is covered by the Karakum Desert. Vast stretches of arid landscape separate population centers. While deserts can be beautiful, they often appeal to a more specialized type of traveler. They rarely attract mass tourism on their own. The country's climate can also be challenging. Summer temperatures frequently become extremely high. Conditions can be uncomfortable for visitors who are not accustomed to desert environments. This naturally limits the most popular travel seasons. Infrastructure is another factor. Turkmenistan is not designed around large-scale international tourism in the way many destinations are. Travelers often find fewer services aimed specifically at foreign visitors. This does not mean travel is impossible. It simply requires more planning and flexibility. For some travelers, that challenge is part of the appeal. Many people who visit Turkmenistan are searching for destinations that feel genuinely different. They are less interested in convenience and more interested in discovery. In that respect, the country delivers something increasingly rare. Modern travel has become highly connected. Popular destinations often feel familiar before visitors even arrive. Turkmenistan still retains a sense of mystery. There are places where travelers feel far removed from the usual tourism circuits. The experience can feel surprisingly authentic. The country's history adds another layer of interest. For centuries, this region played a role in the Silk Road. Traders, merchants, and travelers crossed these lands connecting east and west. Ancient settlements emerged along these routes. Their legacy remains visible in archaeological sites and historical landmarks. Exploring these locations provides a glimpse into a period when Central Asia stood at the center of global commerce. Many travelers are surprised by how rich the region's history actually is. Yet history alone does not guarantee tourism success. Competition within the region is intense. Neighboring countries such as Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan have become increasingly visible to international travelers. Their tourism industries have expanded significantly. As a result, they often receive more attention from visitors exploring Central Asia for the first time. Turkmenistan remains the less familiar option. That unfamiliarity can make it seem intimidating. Many people choose destinations they understand better. Ironically, this is one reason some travelers become fascinated by the country. The fact that so few people visit creates a sense of exclusivity. There is a unique appeal in experiencing a destination that remains largely untouched by mass tourism. Visitors often describe feeling like explorers rather than tourists. That feeling has become increasingly rare in modern travel. Another reason the country remains overlooked is simply awareness. Ask the average traveler to name destinations in Europe or Southeast Asia, and they can often list dozens. Ask them to name attractions in Turkmenistan, and many struggle to name even one. Awareness influences travel decisions more than most people realize. People rarely visit places they know nothing about. This is why destinations often invest heavily in marketing and international promotion. Turkmenistan has never pursued visibility on the same scale as many competing destinations. As a result, curiosity remains limited. Yet for adventurous travelers, curiosity is exactly what makes the country attractive. The fewer people know about a destination, the more intriguing it can become. Turkmenistan offers experiences that feel genuinely different from mainstream travel. The architecture, landscapes, history, and atmosphere combine to create something unusual. Whether walking through the marble avenues of Ashgabat or standing beside a burning crater in the desert, visitors quickly realize they are somewhere unlike anywhere else. And that may be the real answer to why almost nobody visits Turkmenistan. The country exists outside the expectations of most travelers. It is harder to reach, less familiar, and less promoted than many competing destinations. Yet those same characteristics are exactly what make it fascinating. In a world where many tourist experiences feel increasingly similar, Turkmenistan remains distinct. It is one of the few places where travelers can still feel as though they have discovered something truly unexpected. Perhaps the better question is not why almost nobody visits Turkmenistan. Perhaps the question is whether that will remain true forever. Because as more travelers search for destinations beyond the usual tourist trail, countries like Turkmenistan may become increasingly difficult to ignore. If you enjoyed this exploration of one of the world's least visited countries, be sure to subscribe to the Travel Perspective for more fascinating destinations, hidden corners of the world, and extraordinary travel stories.